Hey everyone. We're going to be doing something different this week. No intro, no outro. Because this week's episode it's going to be a sad one. It's going to be a depressing one, and I'm not going to apologize for that, but this is a warning. It's not going to be the cheerful type of episode that you guys are all so used to. I'm not gonna just disclaimer. I'm not gonna be crying or bawling my eyes out during this recording, during this episode. I don't think that's something. I don't think that's something that will happen in this episode. But if it does, I'll be sure to edit it out, because I feel as though when online personalities do that sort of thing, it feels very wrong, in my opinion, for many reasons. I won't get into that, but most of you probably know this. But for those of you that don't, June 17th, 2010, just over 6 years ago as of this recording, my father passed away from cancer. So I figured now would be a good time, seeing as how it was his anniversary, and I hate using that word. Good time to kind of just talk about that and just let that all out. Sorry if I stutter or anything like that. I don't talk about this often, and it's not anybody's fault but my own in this scenario. I just feel like this kind of thing doesn't really, not necessarily that it doesn't warrant discussion, but I'm the kind of person who doesn't like to bring up sad things, I guess, depending on the atmosphere of the conversation or the mood of the conversation. If I'm with friends or family and we're all having a jolly good time, I prefer to sort of, and it kind of sounds like I'm saying kind of keep those things bottled up or anything, but no, I've always been the kind of person to kind of face these kinds of emotional things on my own. And as I say that, I kind of hate saying that, because I do have friends and family who have helped me through hard times, such as what I just mentioned. And they have been there. It's just more of a personal thing. Like I said, it's nobody's fault but mine. I choose to do this. So I feel like, and this is one of the reasons I started this podcast, is I didn't want to get a following. That's why I only post this on Facebook, is so friends and family can see this. I just wanted something where I could kind of just let it all out. Obviously, I'm not letting it all out, because, I'm going to edit out the crying and stuff, like I said earlier. But, I can speak freely and speak my mind and not be worried about bumming my friends out or anything like that. Not to say that I don't come to my friends with these kinds of emotional stress. You guys know what I'm talking about. Like I said, I'm not putting the blame on anybody here but myself. And even then, I don't blame myself. Honestly, don't know where I'm going with this week's episode. I don't know what the point of doing this all is, other than catharsis for my own emotional state. And also, one of the reasons I'm doing this is in memory of my father. He was a good man. I loved him very much. And I miss him every day. I might not think about him every day anymore because it's been so long, but, I get sad, I don't want to say fairly often. Major disclaimer. I might sound sad, I might sound in distress, I might sound emotionally hurt or broken or something. You may listen to this and think that I'm broken, for lack of a better term, in some way. Huge disclaimer, I am fine. And if you want to make sure, you can ask me. And if I'm not fine, I will let you know. And I'll appreciate you coming to me and checking to make sure I'm okay. But yeah, I miss him. He fought cancer for the better part of 3 years. Was it 3 years? I don't even know anymore. But unfortunately, he lost. And I had just recently turned 17 when it happened, so I was still a youngin'. Still am a youngin'. So yeah, like I said, I don't know where I'm going with this. All I know is that I'm doing this for my dad and for myself, because he's gone, but he's not forgotten. He's definitely not forgotten. And for those of you who attended my sister's wedding, you will know very much so that he is not forgotten. Sorry. Not sure where to take this episode. I feel like I should just start from the beginning and go from there. I'm not sure what that would accomplish, but I feel like me just talking about it is just more than enough purpose. So before we start this, I want to thank all of you for tuning in and listening, basically being my therapist for the next half hour, 5 minutes, however long I talk about this. So yeah, I want to thank you for listening. So I guess it started, I think I was in grade 8, the end of grade 8. My dad was diagnosed with cancer, melanoma, skin cancer. He had a mole on his head that his barber noticed and told him he should get checked out. But the whole family, even the barber, thought it was nothing. Turns out there was a tumor underneath that. So eventually my dad got surgery to get it removed. And then after that, my dad had a huge hole in his head, for lack of a better term. It wasn't an actual hole. Well, I mean, it was a hole, but they skin grafted it. So it's not like you could see to his skull or anything. So after that point, my dad always had quite short hair, spiked up short hair. After that, of course, he grew out his hair and got a nice flow going, for lack of a better term. Because, in memorial of my father, you gotta keep up with the kid slang. You gotta keep it real. So then after that point, we all kind of let out a sigh of relief and thought, oh, the cancer's out of him. The doctors say he's good and he can go live his life. Everything's fine. Unfortunately, that wasn't the case. I want to say about a year later, some sort of lump started appearing on my dad's neck, under the skin. I think that's what it was. I'm fairly certain that's what it was. So we got that checked out, and we all thought, oh, it's better to check it. It's probably nothing. We shouldn't worry about it. It's probably just, I don't know, anything. But let's just hope it's not cancer. Unfortunately, it was. So then he had to get more surgery. So this time around, the tumor was in the lymph node, one of his lymph nodes in his neck. And So they had to cut around that whole area. And I actually found out way after the surgery happened from my father that after that surgery, it was like pins and needles on one side, the side of his face. It was the right side of his neck where they had to do the surgery. The right side of his face, he said it was like pins and needles after that surgery because they must have cut some nerve endings or something. I don't know what happened. But, he didn't mind. They told him he was healthy and the cancer was gone. Unfortunately, this time around, we kind of took that with a grain of salt, especially my dad. I'm just trying to, very rough time in my life, so I don't think about it often. So now that I'm actually bringing it up, it's a lot harder to remember what happened when and why something happened. Or maybe it's just because it was more than 6 years ago. And I think that's the biggest shocker for me is it's been 6 years. I don't even know how long it feels to me, but I don't know. It doesn't feel like it's been 6 years. And at the same time, I can't believe it's only been 6 years. It feels so long and so short at the same time. Anyways, my father took the homeopathic route for a little bit. But then all of a sudden, he started going jaundice, and he went to get that checked up. And for those of you that don't know what that is, it's when your skin goes yellow because your liver isn't working or your gallbladder isn't working. One of the two isn't working up to standard. So your skin starts going yellow and the whites of your eyes start going yellow. So we got that checked out. And from what I remember in this scenario is he got it checked out. And his gallbladder was all messed up or something, and they had to do some operation on him and put something in his gallbladder. It's all kind of a blur. But then I remember kind of after that point, they were doing scans and tests on him, and I don't know, at this point the cancer was everywhere. I can't even remember anymore. I don't even know where it was this time. All I know was this was, I didn't know at the time, but this was the last time my dad was told the cancer came back. And this time around, surgery wasn't an option. So he was doing a lot of chemo. And as somebody who has never experienced chemotherapy, but has seen the loved one go through chemotherapy, I can tell you it sucks. Even if you're just a bystander, it fucking sucks. The kind of shit that they have to go through, the kind of pain that they have to experience, it sucks. So my dad kept doing chemo, and he wasn't doing too bad. And I don't even know what happened. Suddenly it was the end of grade 11, and on my birthday, I wanted my friends over, and my mom brought my dad to my Nona's house because he wanted me to have a fun party, but I don't think he could deal with all the kids running around in the house because he was doing his chemo stuff, and it seemed like after my birthday, he just started getting real bad. And then in the span of a week, he just went real bad to the worst possible scenario and then just gone. However, my family, my mom and my brother and sister were lucky to, I don't even know what to call it. One final conversation with my dad. By the end of it, he wasn't all there. And luckily we finally got some caretakers or something to set up a proper medical bed in the house. And they got moved to a hospice for what was like probably 48 hours. It wasn't even long. But before that, kind of a medical station set up in our house, and they got some oxygen in him because apparently he needed proper oxygen, which was he wasn't even getting that apparently. Like, we had no idea. We didn't know. But he got this oxygen in him, and it kind of brought him back long enough, and he wanted the kids to be here. And according to my mom, he kind of patiently waited for all the kids to come home, and every time a car would come by the house, he thought it was somebody coming home from work or something like that. And then we finally all got home, and he kind of didn't necessarily say his final goodbyes to us, but he kind of told us all stuff we wanted to hear, or needed to hear, I should say. And I think the worst part about that is that I can't even remember what he told me anymore. I know it was something about him being proud of me. And it's funny because I think he was telling me something along the lines of to keep trying in my musical career. Because back then, all that shit was hitting the fan so bad that I wanted to get a career in music instead of computer science. But yeah, that was my dad. He was proud of me. Proud of my brother and sister. Loved my mom. Loved the whole family. And he wanted us to do whatever we could and do it to the best of our abilities. And then a few days after that, he passed away. And then that's when the real pain started. And it's not a sudden pain. You kind of don't realize what happens until a few months go by and it's really settled in. But it hurts. You don't realize it does until you can look back on it. But it hurts. So that summer kind of passed by. I actually went to Italy that summer. And it kind of scares me, the thought that since this Italian trip had been planned, and just me, not the whole family, just me, it was a school thing. It still scares me thinking about the thought that, because I only went to Italy a few weeks after my father passed away. So it still kind of scares me to this day that of what would have happened if I had gone to Italy and my father passed away while I was in Italy. Because honest to God, ask anybody in my family, and we all thought, and I know we didn't like to think about it, but we all thought my dad still had months left in him. I don't know if it's with all cancer patients, but or all people who are suffering a terminal illness, but it just suddenly goes downhill. Everything's fine up until a point. And then it all really just goes downhill. You don't expect it. Everything's kind of fine. You tell yourself everything's fine, and then it all goes downhill. But yeah. So that summer happened. I went back to school and I was miserable at school, and I still tried my music career, and then I didn't get in anywhere, so I took a victory lap, and everybody in my family kind of, I'm not going to go into depth that much about my family because this is my show and I'm talking on my behalf. I feel it's unnecessary, not unnecessary, but it's rude to kind of point at my family and say what they didn't do in this terrible time. Everybody goes through it differently, so we all kind of did it in our own way, and it's just the problem is when you lose a family member and you're all so close, it really breaks everything up. And Miranda, Andrew, or Mom, if you're listening to this, I'm not saying I'm not saying anything bad about any of you. I'm just, I don't know. We all lost our dad or our husband. And, it breaks a whole family up. You take out a family member, nothing's the same. And it's still not the same because he's not coming back. But we got through it as a family, and we're still getting through it, even though it's 6 years later, but we're still a family and we still love each other. So anyways, whole year of school after that, I don't know. I was miserable, I think. I can't even remember that much. I was just trying to get by. Trying to get my music career started, and then it didn't. And then I went back to school for a victory lap, and then I think my victory lap is when I started to, I'm not sure if I was just maturing or if I truly was going back to the Greg I used to be. But suddenly I realized that a career in music was not my course, and started getting back into math courses. I remember in grade 11 I was saying, this is the last math course I'm going to take, even though my dad always told me that math's always the most useful thing you could take at school. I think they said something along those lines. I'm paraphrasing, but it's funny how I stopped taking math, and now the career I'm in is very heavy in math. If you had told grade 11 me that I'd be in a career heavy in math, you'd probably think you're a lying piece of shit. So yeah. I don't know. I don't know. It still hurts. I still get sad from time to time. I don't know if that's just who I am now or if it's because of the stuff I've been through, but I get sad from time to time. Not in a drastic way, not in a dangerous kind of way. Just a normal kind of sad. And that's fine. But I'm gonna give some advice to anybody listening. Two bits of advice. First one, I don't even know. I wouldn't wish this kind of thing on my worst enemy, but death is a part of life. So if you feel like you're ever in my situation, first of all, if you want to reach out to me, feel free to. I would love to help anybody in my kind of situation I was in. I would be more than happy to help you out. But my piece of advice is it's gonna hurt, and I'm sure we've all heard this a million times before, but I think it was Will Wheaton who I heard say this on a Comic-Con panel or something. But it was about bullies, but I feel like it's and it was the same with, I don't want to ruin it, but a TV show that I watched. I don't want to ruin it because it's like a season finale quote, so I don't want to ruin it. But it's not that it gets better. The situation itself doesn't get better. You get better. You have to face it every day, whether you want to or not, and you get better. You get better at facing it. You get better at dealing with it. You do it every day. And that's the hard part, is doing it every day. But you don't have a choice. But you do get better because you do it every day. So I know it's going to hurt when and if you reach a bad place in life. But just know that you will get better. Yeah, you will get better. Second bit of advice. Next time you get the chance, maybe not the next time, but just keep it, just always, not even the next time, just keep it in mind. With the people you love and the people who give you their love, let them know that. Let them know that you love them and you appreciate them and you appreciate them being in your life and doing everything they do for you and what you do for them every day. Because I'm not going to say the thing where they might not be around tomorrow or something, because it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if they're not around tomorrow or if they're with you for the rest of your life, because as long as you show them that you love them and they show you that they love you, none of that matters. Because even when they're gone, whether they're gone forever or gone for 5 minutes or gone on vacation for a few weeks, they'll always know and you'll always know that you both loved each other. Because, God damn it, did my dad love his family, and god damn it, did I love my dad, and I still do. Excuse me. Said I wasn't going to do any crying, and I'm not. I'm not going to blubber into the microphone to a point where you guys can't understand what I'm saying. But, so yeah, I'm not going to say next time you see somebody, a family member, tell them you love them, just always keep that in mind. That always show them your love. And, you know, people argue. We get into fights. We argue. We hate each other sometimes. But when you truly love somebody, like a family member or a friend, as long as you show them that you love them and you're there for them in whatever way you do, just do it. Just always remember to do it. So I'm going to end it on that high note. I hope this wasn't too sad of an episode, but I felt I needed to get it out of the way because I've very much been tipping-toeing around the issue of my deceased father. And I'm kind of sick of it. And it's very cathartic. I'm glad I got to kind of let that all out. I want to thank you all for listening, especially on this episode. Ugh. I feel like an asshole for calling this an episode. I just want to thank you for listening to me blather about my hardships. And if you have any hardships and you want to blather them to me, please feel free to contact me. I'm all ears. So have a good night. Don't be sad. I'm fine. Just love each other. Yeah, just love each other. I'm going to go do something that makes me happy. You guys go do something that makes you happy, okay? Promise? All right. Have a good night, everyone.